Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day to you. Good morning. Hey, Kelly. Hey, boss mom. Come on in. Today is Wednesday, February the 5th, I think. What day is it today? Today's the 5th of February. Bridget's already using her stickers. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Dismissed. Um, who's live with Herb? Who? Hmm. Well, come on in. Start clapping because clapping is tapping. And make sure you share this out. Make sure you hang around. Come on in, everybody. I'm hearing that the case was dismissed. That's the updates that I'm seeing. Is that the updates that you're all are getting? Good morning, Carol. Now I was confused. It was from John Paul to the person, right? Three were dropped. Hold on. Can somebody come up to the panel and explain this to me? I've been working on other projects this morning. Okay, hold on. Hey.
Hey, somebody may know more, but I think he went ahead and dropped three. And from what I'm understanding, it's those three that came out around the 21st, I believe, that were all three filed together that we didn't know who they were. Do you remember those?
Yes. So these
I
were
believe
from
it was those three.
these were two from John Paul to three protesters.
They weren't protesters, they were three. From what I understood, the three, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but it was the three that came out at the same time. It was like, and we didn't know who they were.
Uh-huh.
The Tanya one,
Tanya and then they're saying the other Melissa.
yeah, Melissa DeMarco. I may have totally messed that up. And then I can't remember who the other one was.
Good morning, Amy.
Was it Christy Taylor? Was that the name?
Everybody, I understand that Guru and Herb are live, but this is my show slot. Okay. I can't go over there because I'm here. So I'm hoping that you'll stay and hang out with me this morning. Wow. So I'll figure out the other name and we'll talk about it, but that's interesting. So he's figuring out that he doesn't have cases for restraining orders, right? Since they were dropped,
Yes.
or did he drop them, or did the judge drop them?
Now, the restraining order from today, what I'm understanding is that one was like the judge ruled against the restraining order. So the one that went today that we don't know who it is, that's Regina's client, that one was dismissed. He didn't grant the judge didn't grant it. but his dad went on stand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, has anybody heard from Andy?
She texted me this morning. She texted me this picture. I'll show you the picture she texted me. But then after that, I never heard anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was a picture of John Paul in there, but I was like, hey, I said at 10:15, I said, are you still there? And she read it and didn't respond. So I don't know. I hope she wouldn't. She probably got busy.
Yeah.
Is Celeste in here? What is going on? Hold on a minute. Celeste, are you in here? She's not in here. Okay. Everybody hang tight. Sorry about that. All right. Hopefully, I'll get some more info on that. Hey, Butterfly Angel, come on in. You guys need to tap harder than you ever have tapped because most of our friends are not here. Tap, 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 share, share, share. Let's get the live out there. So if you're just joining, all three, are three restraining orders that have been dismissed by the judge toward the protesters. Hey, Carol, thank you for coming in. Hey, Matthew. The panel's open. Come on up if you want to talk about how you're feeling about this, the fact that they were dismissed. Is there any more lingering out there, and will those be dismissed? Good morning, Jenny. What are you guys into? Are you thinking about working? Are you? I know we come straight into it again, but I really do want to know what you're into today. Thank you, Tammy. We got 114 souls in the room. Hey, Krista. Lady in red. Thank you for sharing with more than 10 friends, Butterfly Angel. Thank you for the heart, me. Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just listening to the craziness, of course.
Yeah. I want you to know I watched that sweet video of you saying happy birthday to your mom, and I just loved looking at all those photos.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I love her and I miss her, but yeah, it's been a long time.
Mm. It's been for my mom just celebrated her 69th birthday in heaven, and looking at all your pictures, I just was took back by the 80s and 90s, and just being with my mom in a more simpler time when things weren't so hectic and we didn't have cell phones and things to interrupt us. And if you wanted to watch Unsolved Mysteries, you sat down together at 8 p.m. and watched it. Uh, just think it got me thinking about how the simpler times compared to now.
Yeah, back in the day, me and my sister were just talking about yesterday. My mom used to, every day after school, would leave us little notes on our bed and like sometimes little snacks or little, like she'd go buy us like clothes or, something. And it may not be nothing but from like the thrift store as far as clothing and all,
Mm-hmm.
but she would always make sure we felt special. So I thought that was always, a good memory of my mom and everything. And so when I was, going across the pictures, that's what I was thinking of was that. And then me and my sister do a thing every year where we sing happy birthday to our mom together.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's just something that we do together to kind of wish her a happy birthday in heaven.
Oh,
But
well,
yeah, I
that's
know
awesome.
you had just experienced the same. And so, yeah. And my mom, she would have been 71.
So my mom and your mom were so close in age, just a few years apart.
Yes. And kind of like me and you are.
Oh yeah,
I'm, yeah, I'm 50 and you're 48, right?
yeah.
Yep,
Hmm, that's awesome.
it is. And you've lived in Alabama, where I'm from.
Yeah. Oh, Matthew. I'll my mom. I see how it's been a year, 2 years. It's just been over 2 years, and it was early onset dementia for her. Hey, Mama Coop. Glad to see y'all. If you are in here and you want to resubscribe, sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Folks, you can go to, some of them are going to tiktok.com, like on a browser, on a laptop or a computer, and then you log in, and then the subscribe button is up at the top if you want to do that. You can do it, pay for it another way, I think. So other than, through the Apple Store. And I'm hoping they get the app back on there. I'm hoping. Good morning, Rebecca.
You know the thing about the JP thing? It
Hmm.
reminds me of kind of what we experienced but in the movie Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
I swear. It's like you wake up and it's the same thing over again.
Hmm.
Like on Groundhog's Day, the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. Hey, Stoner Mama. Good to see you in here. Boss Mom says, I just had to make sure it was on my desktop view. Click video icon, then at the top right corner for resub. So there's some directions from Boss Mom. Desktop view. Desktop view. Hey, Cassandra. Thank you for using your stickers. Stickers.
So, are they saying you have to be on a computer to do it?
Yes. They said desktop view, so maybe some can get it. Maybe you can go to the browser on your phone and just make sure it's in desktop view and not mobile view. But yeah, on a computer or laptop
Okay,
is
cool.
the best. And it's like so old school.
Like back in the day.
Or an iPad or tablet, Jenny says may work also. Boss, oh, you did your through the phone. See, sometimes I wondered if that would work. So what she's talking about, let me show you. If you go to your web browser to do it, well, maybe that's not the one I want. Why isn't it working? See, now this browser don't have desktop view. I wonder if it would work on Chrome. No. Well, I know what she's talking about. Like on Safari, there is a way to view desktop view, but mine, I can't. My layout has changed, and I can't figure it out. So somewhere on there, nope, that's not it. Oh Lord, oh, I cannot wait for them to get this fixed. Oh my goodness. Hey, Texas girl. Hey, Cocoa Puff. I don't have any either. I guess it just depends on if your browser's updated. Hey, Micah Ducks. Case dismissed today. Micah's ducks. Are you one of the ones that he tried to get a restraining order on? Oh, he Micah's ducks is just coming in here to tell us the news. No one panic. Hey, there's Andy. Andy, come on up. We were just wondering where you were.
We've been looking for you and your gorgeous red hair.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, good morning.
Oh my gosh, that was like 2 hours, an hour and a half of my life that I can honestly say I don't mind not getting back. Because I saw Regina in the courtroom today, and y'all, she's a pit bull, and she, the good thing is, unfortunately, I can't tell you who the person is, but Regina really, really got onto him, and I have notes. And then y'all, you're not gonna believe this. She got him to admit who was running the tags, that he was running the tags.
Who?
Yes. JP, she got him to admit that.
I mean that he is running the tag. He admit that he is, but who is he? Did he say who he was getting to do?
Law enforcement, ex-law enforcement, and ex-attorney. Yep.
Oh, ex-law enforcement.
Yep.
And his attorney?
Illegal.
Huh?
It's illegal for them to do that. Stop, Sky. Sorry, my Boston Terrier, she's barky if y'all hear her in the back. Yeah, either way, it's illegal. Hey, because they're not supposed to be running anybody's license plate without just cause.
Oh, what did?
And so he opened the door to it. The judge didn't say anything because the judge. Keep in mind, Arrakis is just a magistrate, So he opened the door to it. He said it first, and then Arrakis said, "Well, he goes, no, just stick to the questions." And then he said it again, and she's like, "Well, who are these people that you get to run license plates and stuff like that?" And that's when he said it. Because he's smart the first time. Yeah. Yep, he sure did. And we were sitting outside. We were all sitting outside, waiting. I was waiting for him to leave because, we now know he's running, license plates. And I don't need him knowing where I live or anything, So he put down a lot of he put down his physical address as Safelight. And then he had 4 different incidents listed, and 3 of them got struck off. And the last one, D, which was the one he wanted to keep on, but had quote unquote the wrong address. He had the whole wrong different location. Period. Now, so it got struck off, and this woman, who was being represented by Regina, this woman's not a protester, y'all. She's she's not even close. She don't even live at the beach. So, and that's, so she hasn't been messing around with him at all.
What did the judge have to say about that? JP, you're wasting my time, or what did she say?
No, and that's what I'm confused about, because I've been in front of Arrakis, okay, and I know exactly the kind of temperament. Now, granted, I know that this is a little bit. He doesn't want this to become a circus or whatever, but yeah, he was very, very calm, and there was, he allowed a voice recording to be put into evidence, and there was no video. And I'm sitting here going, well, that don't even sound like the same woman, And that's stuff that he would have never allowed to be a thing, period. Mm-hmm. So Regina, she was amazing. She, and he also was trying to get her removed from representing her client. And then he was like, well, I want her removed off of them.
You can't do that.
No, and that's basically what Regina told him. She goes, and the rule he's referring to is he goes, you like, it has something to do with like if they recuse themselves. She's like, I'm not, I'm not a plaintiff on anything, just because I've represented. She goes, if anybody is more well versed or understands JP Miller, she goes, it's me. And my client was served on Friday. And so therefore she only had like Friday, and then, today's Wednesday. So she only had a few days to like gather stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
So I made notes too. He was trying to get her in harassment in the first degree. So let's just say that's unrestricted, intruding. Yeah. What? Yeah. Sorry, my husband's getting ready to leave y'all. Sorry. Here. Bye. Okay, love you too. I know, y'all. Steph says bye. Okay. Unrestricted, intrusion or intruding. Intentional, has to be intentional, and it says following a girl. Oh my gosh, my handwriting's so horrible. Following a targeted person. Okay, harassment in the second degree is all of that. Sky, please stop. It's all of that plus harassment, verbal, written, or electronic. So it's all of the first. Stop. Give me a second. Sky, stop trying to be all big and bad. You're not a 300-pound Rottweiler. Sorry, y'all. So none of that. This woman has not done any of that. And then get this, y'all. Are you ready for this? One of the instances, like any of the times, he never even called to make a report on this woman. And what do we typically know what JP Miller does? He calls the cops all the time. So please explain to me how JP Miller didn't call the cops on this one isolated incident.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And she was like, so you didn't call the cops? And he goes, no. And then she's like, so you're saying that the cops failed to protect you and do anything? He goes, oh yeah, for sure. I'm like sitting here going, you are aware that we can see what, all of your, every time you call, like, you are aware of that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, she tore him a new hole. I mean, it got dismissed. So thankfully that got thrown out, but Arrakis had to go out, and I want to say it was about he took about a 5-minute recess. But yeah, she tore him to bits. And I really thought that man was getting ready to start crying on the stand. I was like, please, dear God, Jesus, don't let that man start crying because I cannot stand his voice.
Yeah.
But he had his dad, and then he had another lady. I guess who's filing on behalf of him too. So it's her, and then his dad, and then him. Mm-hmm. And that woman, she tore his dad to bits because they're saying that she followed him from the X Gym, which is right here off of Fantasy Harbor Boulevard. So if anybody's familiar with this area, everybody, Beach Church is right across the street from the X Gym, and X Gym's freaking huge. Mm-hmm. Followed him from the X Gym to Bob Evans. Now there's two Bob Evans. There's one right here down the road from the X Gym, and then there's one right there, kind of like in where, kind of like in and around where he lives, right? Mm-hmm. Off of 544. Mm-hmm. He got the address mixed up. Now keep in mind, he has to read over those statements. Okay, he had to reread it, and then he had to have somebody notarize it. Okay, so she makes the argument. She says, well, you basically have to look over the statement. She goes, you also have to make sure everything, as a pro se litigant, she's like, you have to attest that everything you're saying is factual and true. So she pulls out this aerial app of Bob Evans off of Fantasy Harbor. And she's like, he goes, well, this is the incorrect one. And she goes, well, I'm going by off of your document right here. And damn sure he did put in Fantasy Harbor Boulevard one. Don't ask me why. Because that's like I'm trying to put a liking to it. It's impossible to get them two mixed up. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because one's right down the road from the X Gym. Okay. And then the other one is right down the road from where he lives. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever seen anything. I mean, how could I put this? And I'm trying not to say it, but he's unique. Let's just put it that way. He's special.
I've been feeling
He's
that
special.
for a long time. So Zarah's saying, so all of the fake addresses should get thrown out. Did the judge comment on anything about them being fake?
No, he didn't comment on anything. She was trying to actually get it thrown out, I guess with prejudice, and say that he's filing frivolous lawsuits, because she's like, look, she goes, and the one thing I could tell you for certain that JP Miller said that was truthful was this question right here. She asked him, she goes, I have counted that you have filed 33 lawsuits here in the magistrates as of Friday. She goes, were you, because he had to walk in today, so Steph, the picture I sent you, that's where, that's where you go to kind of file it, file that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
She goes, did you file any more lawsuits today? And he goes, I filed none. And I'm like, well, he's telling the truth on that one, because, Spidey has it. He's got to tell. He sits there and hits that nose every time. And honey, his nose should have been shiny. Really, really shiny. That's how much he was hitting that nose.
Wow. Regina, yeah, she's saying that Regina done really great.
Well, we all know why he's probably doing that, hitting his nose.
Good morning, Robin. We have 28,000 likes. Let's see if we can get to 50,000 likes. We have 341 souls in the room. Today's live goal is 10 potato in Pali. We already have 2 potatoes. So if you can throw a potato, please do. If you're just
Sorry,
joining
somebody was
us,
calling.
that's okay. If you're just joining us, probably the biggest news so far is that John Paul Miller admitted in court that he has been the ones running tags, and that he has gotten an ex-law enforcement officer and a ex-lawyer, I believe, ex-lawyer,
Yeah, he said
to do
excellent
that
lawyers, and then, in another state, he said.
in another state. Is it did he think that is the ex-law enforcement in another state, you think?
No, I think they're here. He said the ex lawyer. He made it sound like they were from another state.
Okay. Oh man, I wonder what what would the ex cop have access to?
Well, if he's ex law enforcement, he's got people. They'll have people who I would assume. I don't think you have access to that. I mean, because we were sitting there talking about it. So because it was after court, so it was me, Regina, and some other people, and I was like, well, the only people who can run license plates are law enforcement, and apparently attorneys can, and tow truck people. Like, if your car gets up for repossession.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically admitted he was running. He was, he was getting those people's names and everything.
So from the ex-law enforcement, there has to be some kind of
Yeah, you do.
other
You always have
connection.
some money.
There's somebody else
Yeah.
he's not. There's something else he's not saying. Definitely. Thank you for
trust
the potato.
Trust me.
Thank you, Brandy. Heather says, I used to be certified to run records, and it has to be renewed. Someone retired wouldn't have access. That's what I was just saying.
That's right. Yep. So you got somebody in there. I mean, he's saying, I don't think it's ex-law enforcement. I mean, he's saying it could be. I don't, probably to cover his tracks, but that's only takes a matter of somebody just pulling records. I mean, because you have a timestamp, you have an audit trail.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever somebody pulls up your information on this computers. I mean, it's just like we're looking into a case in Georgia where this she's the only Black woman, and she ended up unalived, okay, at this party. And the girl, or the woman who owned the home, she was dating a law enforcement officer. Do you know that law enforcement officer got basically removed? Well, he lost his job because he was trying to access those files from that incident a year before. so yeah.
Miss, it's what it is. I don't think so, because it's in magistrate. Do you think that, I'm pretty sure the judge would confront him when it comes time to go to court for the lawsuits.
Yeah.
and maybe press him for more information.
And trust me, Regina was trying to get it dismissed based off of frivolous, she basically said, she goes, JP, is it true that, you're basically following all these lawsuits to make people be quiet? She goes, the protesters, she goes, you can't stop people from exercising, their first, their God-given rights, or as we say, the First Amendment rights.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh no, he goes, I believe in the First Amendment rights. He said, I would be right there with them in court. I'd be right there with him, shouting for justice for Micah. He goes, I don't mind doing that. And I'm like sitting here going, really, sir? Really, sir? Because I can't believe how many times has he gone out of his way, to quote unquote, threaten those protesters.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Stephanie, he did admit that he was at the Bob Evans in January. Yeah, they all admitted they were there. Because the defendant, I know the Speedy Grandma's asking me who all was in court. There was a couple of the protesters that were there, like two of them. One of them, God bless her, she just got, she appeared in court yesterday. And I want to say, I think her first name might be Elaine. I can't remember, y'all. I'm so sorry. But her and her husband both got, both got the stuff. And of course, the woman, I'm telling you, the woman that was, out of respect for her privacy, she's, like I said, she don't live anywhere near, she didn't make a habit to go protest, and she, trust me, she wasn't following him at all.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept saying, well, if she just promises that she won't say anything cross about me, or, call me a schmurderer, he goes, we can end it right now. And I'm like, sitting here going, what? I'm like, but you're willing to take all these people to court, and, and I just, there's something up with that whole Arrakis thing. And I think he probably needs to recuse himself for the remainder of the stuff. I mean, they really should just all try to lump sum all the lawsuits together,
Mm-hmm.
so they can kick it up into a higher court. But you know what I would do? I kick it, once it goes into that higher court, I would kick it right into federal court, because you could do that. I mean,
Yeah.
Kicking anything into federal court super easy. And I would like to see him in front of a federal judge try to say that. Fourth Circuit is what we're in. So that'd be out of Virginia.
I don't know if you listened to that podcast, Cup of Justice, where Regina Ward was on there, but she specifically said that you can kick it up into federal court if at least two or three states, and I think now 4 states are involved. And so they could go together and push this up to federal court, and I think
that's what I think they should do.
Hand JP his hind in.
Oh yeah, I definitely think that's what they should do. I mean, but and it was funny because he made a comment, and I'm probably not going to word it correctly, but he had made a comment, and Regina picked up on this because she kind of went through each line item that he had put together, and she said, she goes, I see right here where it says, that she had referenced something about him being questioned and then not off of criminal acts or whatever. She goes, well, have you been charged for a criminal act? And he said, well, no, not at all. And she goes, really? She goes, well, you're stating right here that you've been charged for a criminal act. He said, no. He goes, I have not been charged for a criminal act. He goes, I'm just assuming that, talk about the schmurder of Micah or whatever. He said, and she said, well, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know. He goes, I'm just saying, I'm assuming that I'm not being charged with it. And she's like, well, has anybody indicated otherwise? And he's like, well, no. And she goes, well, aren't you being investigated by the FBI? And he stops and he goes, relevance. And, and that's when Arrakis was like, well, she asked a question, you open the door for that. And so he said, well, yeah. He goes, and she goes, and didn't the FBI come in November 1st and take your electronics? And he's like, yes, they did.
Oh my
She
Lord.
goes, so you don't, and he goes, he's like, well, I don't even know what's going on with that.
Of course
I'm
they
like,
don't.
I'm like, well, yeah, that's kind of how the FBI works, JP. They're not going to
They're
tell
not.
you.
Yeah, they're not gonna be like, "Hey, JP, everything's going great. We're just gonna check in with you."
Yeah, let me. We've looked through all your electronics. I would be like, the one thing I wanted her to ask was, have they returned your electronic devices, JP?
Exactly.
you know, I mean,
Oh gosh.
it. I wish I could have I really wish I could have recorded it. And there was News 13 there. And I'm going to tell you right now, you want to talk about Pitbull, the girl that was, I guess she's the reporter on this whole thing. She was like, she knew her place. Let's just put it that way. And they were trying to get it to where they could record the proceedings, but Arrakis wouldn't let them do it. Yeah. Yeah, I know. So, but I guess it's upon the discretions. What Regina said is upon the discretion of the judge. So let's just put it
But
this way:
can
I'll
you
be
get
surprised if they're open from now on. Everything will
right?
probably be closed from here on out.
But can you get the transcript if it's a public
Um,
thing?
I mean, well, that's a good question. You would have to file. If well, it's depending on how stuff was entered in. And if her stuff was sealed up, like she requested it to be sealed, so her name wouldn't be forthcoming, which y'all, I don't blame her. I wouldn't want my name to be forthcoming either. Um, it's a possibility. I mean, the only people I know that could get it would be JP. I know definitely Regina and them. Um, you know, but if it's showing up on the docket, it's a possibility. I would have to look into that.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
Oh man, what a day. Holy, are you glad you went?
I'm very actually I'm super glad that I went. And this is what I was telling, because I was I was sitting next to this girl. Her name was Melissa too, by the way. There was so many Melissas. And so I was talking to her. She's like, well, I'm really, I'm invested in the case, but so we're sitting there next to her, and she actually knows God, what's his name? Sam? Is it Sam something? I can't remember his last
Mm-hmm.
name. You know,
For
he
Micah's that
actually,
Micah does.
yeah, he's actually doing music at the same church that she attends. So, so I got to meet him, super nice guy. And he said, he just basically said, he goes, well, I'm doing this for Micah, you know? And really that's what a lot of these people said. I felt bad for Miss Elaine, and her poor husband. He's so quiet over there. you know? He's like, yeah, me and my husband got restraining orders yesterday. So, you know, to me, it just sounds like a hit or miss type deal. But I told the girl, Melissa, I was sitting next to, I said, I'm more curious to see the interaction between him and Arrakis. That's the main reason why I went, because I wanted to see, because I've been in front of Arrakis and I know how he is. So it confirmed a lot of things to me.
Yeah.
It confirmed, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, and obviously not trying to say, oh, he's in JP's pocket, because we don't know that, right?
Right.
But I'm just saying he didn't appear to be himself today. And a lot of people are like, well, it's a big name case. And I'm just sitting here going, I'm just surprised that he hasn't thrown him out of court. I mean, with them filing as many
Right.
restraining order, or as many lawsuits as they have,
Mm-hmm.
Arrakis typically has a temper. So, I mean, he's not, and he's very curt with it, and professional. So that was the main reason why I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Is I wanted to see the interaction between him and JP. And JP was pro se, so he represented himself. And of course, the one thing Regina did ask him, she goes, did somebody help you prepare this? And he goes, objection, relevance. And Araka's like, well, you kind of, because he pulled out, like he was trying to get her, some kind of ruling. And I can't remember the exact ruling, but, to get her thrown off these cases, she's like, no, I'm not recusing myself. And, people retain me. And then obviously she goes, I have never been a witness for him or anybody. And he was like saying that Regina was like, after Micah passed, Regina was calling him. And he's like, she's trying to act like my best friend. She goes, I have never called him. She goes, he
Oh my
kept,
gosh.
but that's the truth. And I can confirm that she is telling the truth based off of the source that I have, because I
Mm-hmm.
know, I know for a fact. And, and it was one of the family members, right? So I know for a fact he was harassing Regina. So I'm sitting there going, well, she's not lying. She's not going to lie in the court, And
Right.
she basically called him outright liars. She goes, those are outright lies. So
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, I would tell you right now, she was freaking amazing. I mean, she's super, y'all, she's super duper nice. Like, she's super nice. And, I just, let's put it this way. It was a victory today, especially for Micah,
Yes.
so it was definitely worth it. It was worth like I said, worth the 2 hours, that I don't regret ever spending in my life. And I almost got kicked out. I almost got kicked out by the sheriff because I was talking.
Oh my God.
So I had to write notes to the Melissa I was sitting next to. I'm like, this guy's an idiot.
Uh,
I'm like, can't you tell? I was like, his tell is him like touching that nose. Should
oh
have been
my
Rudolph the
gosh.
Red-Nosed Reindeer by the end of the hearing. But yeah, I mean, and thankfully, he denied it. But Arrakis had to leave because I guess he had to go back and listen because there was like 4 instances that he brings up. One of
Mm-hmm.
them being the Bob Evans thing, and obviously it being at a completely different location. And of course, Regina had requested that to be struck because it's a completely different location. She's like, this is what I was presented with, and you could tell Regina's used to being in higher courts because she told Arrakis, she goes, I'm really sorry. Obviously I'm not familiar with all of the magistrate stuff because,
Mm-hmm.
when he popped out, putting in these videos, Iraq was like, yeah, we can go ahead and hear. I was like, are you serious right now? And like the fact that, the videos, I'm thinking about videos, and then he goes and tries to say, to get Regina removed off of this case and all of the cases. That is literally what he said, y'all. I kid you not. That is literally what he said. He puts on iPhone Gurus. So iPhone Guru, remember when he posted that video, of Regina yesterday, and
Mm-hmm.
then tries to do one. I think I'm trying to remember which. It was from another broadcast. I think it might have been one of the local stations here, and then Fitz News. And she goes, "What? Your Honor, as you can tell, I haven't recorded any of these myself." And she's right. I mean, she did it.
Right.
You
Exactly.
know, I mean, Regina's never recorded anything personally herself. I mean, everybody can attest to that. Anytime that we've seen her, she's either being interviewed or she's, standing in front, and she's like, I can't stop people who are here from TikTok and making videos and stuff, So, yeah, she did a kick-ass job. Excuse my French, but it
Wow.
was wonderful.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah, if all of them are like that, then I mean, I personally believe at this point he is frivolously filing lawsuits, and I agree with Regina. It is a form of harassment. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
she was also trying to get him to pay, for her retainer fee. I guess what for. Sorry, y'all. I should put my phone on do not disturb.
Thank you for the potato, Mama. Look. Hey, our
Yeah.
princess.
Hey, so okay, with this stuff with JP, you would think that the court after so many of these would be like, "Whoa, this is, way too much. He's going overboard." You think that the magistrate would say something, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, knowing Arrakis and being in front of him before, yeah, I'm actually surprised he's not said anything. And at this point, because I thought, well, he's only going to know what his docket is for that day or for that week. And then I thought, well, there's no way. I mean, unless that man literally is on a flip phone and he doesn't have a TV or anything, he has to know that he's all these people are coming up in front of him.
Yep.
You have to know at
But
this
you would
point.
think if when the FBI came in that day and raided his home, you would think that they would have taken all his electronics, including his phone. So how can he get on social media unless he has another phone?
He does. They actually, when they went over, he was at the Starbucks, remember, because he wasn't home when they done the raid. So over
Yeah.
there, they took his phone, and then he went immediately, I heard, and got a new phone.
Oh, we did now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. I'm surprised he don't have backup phones and backup phones, but I guess that, it doesn't really matter,
Yeah.
because if they were all sitting there, looking like a little freaking iPhone farm, for crypto or something, which I'm pretty sure that's how I picture it. Okay. Y'all can picture it any other way you want, but I'm
Yeah.
picturing it that way.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Yeah, no, we saw that he had two phones that day when he was putting one in each back pocket at one of the church protests.
yeah. I mean, I just can't get over the $100,000, down to $10,000. I'm sitting here going, who is paying this man $100,000 a month, for his books, his CDs? Does that include all the stuff that you were getting? I mean, the math ain't mathing. I was sitting there thinking back, Steph, like when we went over, the profit loss, right,
Mm-hmm.
for the church. I mean, the math ain't mathing on that.
Mm-hmm. Who said
But do
they
you
made?
think the
Hold on a minute.
FBI?
Who said
Do you
they made
think the FBI
$100,000 a
knows
month?
though?
JP said he was making about $100K a month.
Oh, yeah, hold on. He said that in court?
Yeah, he sure did. For books, CDs, loss
I'm
of
sitting
income,
here like, who
down
are
to
you?
10K.
I had to process. I'm like, who is she talking about? Oh
Yep,
my
I know.
God.
Yep.
What?
I just was like, I know, I'm like sitting here going, please, dear God, do not let me make this face, because I was trying so hard. And like Wayne Miller got up on the stand too, y'all, and she ripped him to shreds too.
I love Regina.
She's really good, y'all. Just watching her work is just phenomenal. I mean, gosh. I know, Steph. I know. I know. The math ain't mathing, is it?
He's claiming loss of income.
Yeah, he is. I mean, well, because that's that's how I guess how you have to file the restraining orders. You have to put in some way that, and with the restraining orders, you have to put, this is because of what they're doing and what they're saying, him, by her calling him a schmurderer in public. He's like, oh, and he called her a psychopath too, by the way. And she's like, and Regina was like, and what classifies you to know what a psychopath is? He goes, well, I think anybody who's going to refer to me as a murderer, and then she goes, well, do you fear for your life that she's going to harm you guys? Like, to unaliving? He goes, that and more. And I'm like, that's when me and the girl Melissa looked at each other. We're like, what is more? What more can you get? What more can you get?
Wow. Wow.
So, yeah, call her a psychopath.
$100,000 a month.
Yep. And then he was running his mouth about Herb, because that's Regina's process server, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, well, didn't you threaten her? Didn't you threaten my process server? That you were going to sue. And he's like, hell yes. That's what he said. Hell yes. He goes, and then he was talking about his criminal record and whatnot. He goes, it's like long. She goes, oh, so is it longer than yours? He goes, yes, it's longer than mine.
Oh my God.
I'm like sitting there going, something tells me I very seriously doubt it, okay?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, 34 speeding tickets, come on now. The rest of us would be buried under the jail for that.
Wow.
And I think he's got court today for a speeding ticket too.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that draw a red flag if JP is filing these lawsuits claiming loss of income, but yet he opens his mouth in court today and says that he makes over $100K?
Yeah, he said he went from 100K to 10K
what the
a month.
flip?
When I heard that, I think my mouth completely just fell to the floor.
He's saying that he went from $100,000 a month to $10,000 a month.
Yep. And
Well,
let's just pray. Let's hope.
Making $10,000 a month is a dream.
That for a lot of people. I mean, that's $110,000 a year. I mean, I'm like sitting there like, and if you're a pastor, that, and if, let's just say if that's running through the church or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
That money's not supposed to be all for him. And he made it sound like that was all his money.
Steph said he dresses like he makes that much money and dresses like that.
Y'all, his face was so red when he first came up there and he was like talking and trying to get Regina removed off the case. I was just like, I was like, my mouth hit the floor again. I'm like, I know he is not trying to do this. You cannot, it's just like Black Laveley going, well, I don't want, Justin Baldoni's attorney to dispose me. Bitch, you don't get to pick that.
He said, he really used that example?
No, I'm using that example. That's exactly.
Is he following the
like,
Blake Lively case?
You would think. I'm like, I mean, obviously
God.
he's taking a lesson off of her book, and she's just about as delulu as he is. So, I mean, yeah, like calling this woman a psychopath, and just like with his whole chest, y'all, with his whole chest, it was insane.
I'm surprised Regina didn't go off on him.
I think Regina, he was like, and then Regina was like, she was just questioning him, right? Like, she's just questioning him. And of course, she got sterner as she was questioning him, which to me, that represents no bias, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's an attorney. She can't have bias, right? And he goes, see, she's like sitting here kind of like berating me. He didn't use that exact terminology because let's just face it, this is JP, y'all.
Yeah.
You see how she's talking to me? She's sitting here talking to me as if though she's judging me.
Oh my God.
So
I've never, like you said, and I just said this the other day, I've never known anybody on earth like John Paul Miller.
I can honestly say, well, I mean, I don't know, because I've been deep diving into that Blake Lively stuff. I think him and Blake Lively are probably neck to neck.
Oh Lord. I don't know if I want to get into the Blake Lively stuff. I've been trying to avoid it. It's so convoluted.
To be honest with you, I think if let's just put it this way, it is a good lesson for you to like understand how civil proceedings work, especially on a state level and in a federal level too. Because there's just so many, like, Justin Baldoni, I think he puts in a 168-page amendment on Friday. Okay. 168-page amendment. And
I'm hearing that he had all of the records. He's got all of the detailed records.
He does. And here's what's crazy is that I want to say kind of like later towards the week, basically, and I don't know who did it first, okay? But they go and inspect the New York Times Post.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they see, that Blake Lively had handed this stuff over to the New York Times back in October because there were timestamps in the metadata. So,
yeah, that's crazy.
So like I said, there's as I always tell people, data never lies. Data never lies. You can try to alter it, but you can't, but there's always going to be a footprint. You can't, it's just undeniably accurate.
That's one of the things, I'm counting on in the FBI raid is that data don't lie. And someone was asking me the other day why I think they didn't raid the church. And my honest opinion is I feel like they had what they needed as far as the financials for the church because it was on a computer at his house.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I mean, what's the point when, all of the stuff was right there with him,
Mm-hmm.
And I do agree that there will be not only him, but there will be a lot more people, okay, who get indicted with him too. And I'm of that opinion at this point. So there was no Russell Long, y'all. There was no Russell. He was pro se. He was all himself today. And let's just put it this way: he needs an attorney.
Yes, he does. Do you remember anything that the judge said to Wayne?
No, the judge really didn't. The judge really didn't address Wayne, apart from the fact that I think when Regina was questioning Wayne, she said, she told Regina, well, don't put words in his mouth, let him, she's just like, she wasn't, but he was very calm. He must have taken some kind of medication. I don't know. He was very calm. He was super duper calm. And, and I agree to a point, obviously with professional, discretion and, this not being a circus, but I would have thrown him out on his ear. Because that's how I know Arrakis. I mean, that's how Arrakis is. I mean, Arrakis is, he's just like that. And I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand when somebody gets in there and is wasting his time. I mean, even Regina said, all you're doing is wasting the court's time and wasting taxpayers' money. So I wish I could have been able to record some stuff, but unfortunately, there is absolutely no recording. Oh, Speedy Grandma, Wayne basically was one of the witnesses to the X Gym and the Bob Evans stuff. Now, Regina basically ripped his testimony to shreds because he was trying to say, well, did you see my client? Was it my client? Did it come out of my client's mouth? And of course, he was saying at the X Gym there was like 12 people there, but at Bob Evans there was like 3. And of course, JP's like, well, I saw her get into her car, okay, and follow me from the X Gym to Bob Evans. And he couldn't even tell you, y'all, he couldn't even tell you what car she had.
Right. If somebody's following you enough that you're going to note it down to take them to court for a restraining order, you're going to know what kind of car they drove.
Well, especially if somebody's going to be following me. You're talking about a man who calls Horry County Police like it's DoorDash, like he's ordering DoorDash,
Yeah.
I mean, then for him to not have filed a complaint, if he felt that feared of her and her being quote unquote a psychopath, why did he not call the cops? And then he goes, well, I have called the cops. Well, did you call it in particular and make a complaint against my client? And he's like, well, no. He goes, I just did it in general. Well, no, that's not how this works, And so really for anybody to be granted a restraining order, you have to have two options, right? Or 2 instances or at least 2. And I'll tell you right now, for most people, like us normal people, we have to basically notate it with the police department, okay?
Yeah.
Because they just don't, trust me, I have never seen it, not to say that I haven't, but that's what I was told. And I had somebody like 110% stalking me, and I couldn't even get a restraining order against them.
Some folks are in the comments are asking, did they make him pay for the fees?
No. He said, absolutely no. That's the one thing he said. Yep. He said, Arrakis said that typically, and I can't remember the exact terminology, in order for her fees to be paid, it has to be sanctioned or something. She was trying to get sanctions on him, which I think is totally feasible. But no, her fees were not paid. Her fees were denied. And then she requested it again at the end because he denied obviously the restraining order. And he goes, well, didn't I tell you that your stuff was denied? And she said, well, sir, in light of, you denying this restraining order, I have a right to ask for it again. Because keep in mind, magistrates don't have to be attorneys, y'all, okay, in this county. And I don't know if that works on every county, or how it's done anywhere else. But here, it's not law. And Arrakis is not an attorney. I agree, but he's also not hearing cases like this every stinking day. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's either yay or nay. I mean, this is the longest restraining order case I've ever sat through, So, but she tore him.
Sean says, she could file in small claims court to try to get her fees back.
Yeah, she can. I mean, I'm pretty sure, but honestly, the truth is if she's representing most of these lawsuits, and if there's another attorney let's just say if there's 2 or 3 attorneys that are taking all of these lawsuits, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can all put in together and request it to be over that $7,500 fee,
mm-hmm.
right? That cap.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason why he's doing this, and it is very apparent because Arrakis needs to recuse himself completely from these cases from here on out. I mean, that's just like, he's asking Regina to recuse herself. because he doesn't want to be disposed by her, or she's got a bias against him, because, she represented his last two wives. Well, I said, there should be something to tell you there, right there, JP. When you say that out loud, how does that make you feel?
Right.
That woman's never threatened you. She's avoided your phone calls at all costs, and that I can confirm, because I know that from a family member, and she's like, when it comes to, if the FBI, the FBI requested Micah's stuff, she had to get it verified, and then she had to provide a statement, to the FBI for it to be verified. So she had to have it double verified before she could even give it to them. And he was harassing her for days and days after to get that stuff. And, knowing good and damn well, she wasn't going to turn that stuff over to him. She can't legally do it.
Right.
She's going to have to take her to court. And she said, I provided the stuff because that's what the FBI, she did the right thing, I mean, and especially because, he's not paying her, she, even after, after Micah not being here on this mortal plane, she still has an obligation to that family, or to Micah's family and Micah. She's very, 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 very straightforward and very honest about it. She's not made for magistrate's court. She's made for the bigger courts for sure. But she's super sweet lady.
I love it. Do you? I'm guessing that he had no idea that Regina Ward was going to show up.
No, I think, in fact, Herb was trying to serve him. Okay, to let him know that she was being retained as counsel. So, because you have to file a motion for that, right?
Yeah.
And so she goes, you avoid my process server at all costs. She goes, so how can somebody be informed? And when he pulled out the jump drives and things like that, and y'all, like, she was saying, well, I have video of it. Y'all, he had a voice recording, okay? A voice recording. And like me and this Melissa girl, like, look at each other. I'm like, you're going to allow that into evidence? Because you can't validate it as a true source, right? Because if there's no video to it and he's just got a voice recording, I wouldn't allow that in, because that's not right. And then, she's like, well, I object because I haven't seen this and I should be informed of all discovery. And that's when Arrakis barked back at her and said, well, in magistrate court, we don't have to give you everything. Yeah, apparently.
What was the voice recording of?
The voice recording was of the lady he was trying to get the restraining order against.
And what did it say?
Well, it caught, he had this voice recording of her saying, I hope you choke on your breakfast. and
what?
And called him a schmurderer, but like I said, we can't testify whether or not if that's her or not, because it wasn't. Let's put it this way. He's like, I'm thinking when he has video, I'm thinking, man, he's got this woman hook, line, and sinker, flat out,
Yeah.
And then so when they pop it in on the TV and I'm hearing voice recordings, I'm sitting here going, we're allowing this now? Okay.
Yeah, Angela, that's not a threat. Somebody just wants somebody to choke her on their cereal. That would be an act of nature.
I mean, and the woman, because I don't know if that was her or not, right? Because, she didn't say, yes, that's me on the record. So, I don't know if that's her or not, right? That could just be a recording of the woman who testified on behalf of him,
Right.
For all I know,
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, it sounded more like that woman than it did the actual defendant. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and of course she has every right, anybody has every right. I mean, it's not like she stood on the table at Bob Evans and shouted from the rooftops that, you look at this murderer and, I hope you choke on your break, on your lunch or whatever.
Oh my gosh. This is so I mean, it's serious for the people that's going through it, but some of the stuff that he says is comical and makes zero sense, and he's just out there.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll tell you right now, I saw Miss Ann come up in here. Miss Ann, I'll have to admit, Regina Ward, she didn't call y'all out by name, but she said she's trying to get this dismissed on frivolous stuff, because he provided Safe Light as his home address, which you're not legally supposed to do that. And then that's when Arrakis goes, well, it doesn't matter what his address is. Yes, it does. I'm like sitting here going, are we reading from the same book that you like?
Right.
What? Because I've read it. I've read all of that. Like I said, y'all, I had a stalker, so I
Yeah.
have read through all of the rules and regulations, especially for magistrate court. Then I sit here, are we reading from the same book? Like, are you just making up rules now? But she said, well, you had, it says that you've served a defendant at Pulse nightclub, and and you served a defendant that doesn't even live in the state at Weight Watchers. He's like, no, I didn't do that. He goes, well, I don't verify addresses. That's what he said, y'all. That's what he said. So you're gonna go up there.
He went to Google and he typed in Weight Watchers and he got the address and he put it on the form.
Yeah,
he's very aware. He's very aware.
Yeah, I mean, he ain't gonna. And I can assure you, the address that he put for Weight Watchers, that is a very, very specific address, y'all. Okay, that's off of 38th Avenue in a strip mall. Okay, I'm telling you, I've looked at the addresses, and then when I was looking at and then now understanding what she said, because he puts his address at Safe Light Auto Glass off of Highway 17. You can't do stuff like that, because if you're going to file a restraining order, the person or people you're filing a restraining order against, they need to know where not to go.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he needs to fire the people he has looking up the addresses, okay?
We have 70,000 likes, and we have 374 souls in the room. Today's live goal is 10 potato and pali. We have 6 of them if you would like to send a potato. Hey, Ann, how are you?
Hey, just for the record, because we know that the feds and JP are listening, he called me on July 4th. I have record of that. Now, for him to get my phone number, because it's a cell number, he had to have gotten my address as well. So he knew damn well, as far back as July, that I lived in Georgia. Okay, with that being said, it is a federal offense to file a court filing, and maybe the judge Arrakis doesn't know that. So it might be in his best interest not to allow, or at least to dismiss it when it comes before him, if it ever comes before him. And that's a big if. If it ever comes before him, because if he gives him by default a win, then he's helped him.
I agree with you.
Federal law.
Well, and is it? And if I'm not mistaken, that falls it falls under the frivolous lawsuit. You can just be. You cannot. Right, you have to be completely accurate.
That's a federal law, 18 U.S. I think it's 1342 or something. Yeah, I looked it up, and I've already spoken. That sounds about right. I've already spoken to Regina, and I'm already dealing with her office.
Good.
It's going to be an easy dismiss.
Yeah. And trust me, she brought that up in court today. I mean, she said, the Pulse nightclub, and most of y'all probably don't know, especially y'all don't live here, that's a gay nightclub, y'all. So.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know what it was.
She asked him that.
I thought it was a strip club.
No. The basis of the call in July was that, and I only had 3 videos up at that time, his question to me, which we know was bogus, was, in your opinion, Anne Marie, he called me, by the way, so he knew my name was Anne Marie, not Annie. And by the way, my phone number, even my area code is not.
I was about to say your phone number is not even a Georgia number.
Right. So it's not even a Georgia number. Right. So it's not a South Carolina number either. So he knew right away. But he asked me, in my opinion, what was he doing wrong in the eyes of God?
Yes, I remember that. And I remember listening to those recordings. And then that's what, like, when he served you, I'm like sitting here going, or said he served you or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm
Hold on
sitting
to
here
your
going,
luck.
why?
He said that I caused his church members to stop coming to his church, not want to do baptisms with him. Hello, I didn't come onto the scene until late June. Those people stampeded out of that church right after Micah
Well before
passed
then.
away.
That's correct. Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am.
Okay, so
And
that's
that's
number
what
one.
he's trying to say.
That could be proven. Number two, he said that I've harassed him and made him feel unsafe. How did I do that all the way from over here? I mean,
I
I
have
didn't
no
realize I
idea.
was that powerful.
I know, right?
Maybe I am. I don't know. That's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I think I really think it was a default complaint that he
Yeah.
wrote down for everyone. I bet you if I put it next to, because that's what it
Every one
sounds
of
like
them.
from what you're saying, it sounds like it was a default complaint for everyone.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know if you were here in the beginning when I jumped right on, but I told Steph, one, that Regina got him to openly admit that he was taking, running license plates, okay, and getting people's information that way.
Wow.
Yeah, he
And
walked
he said,
right into it.
yes, he said that he's getting an ex law enforcement officer and an ex attorney that is out of state to run the plates
Yeah.
for him.
Holy noise.
Yep. And of course, there was like one more ahead of that. And like I said, please use this loosely because this is not verbatim, okay? This is this is from what I took in and from what I'm repeating back to y'all, okay?
Yeah.
Because we couldn't have any recordings there, but I wanted to make that. Oh, and then also, Ann, he was making $100,000 before all of this. And
Yeah.
now it's dropped down to 10K per
Per
month.
month.
Okay, so I got something to say about that. So Allie
Per
had
month.
said in her if I'm not mistaken, the affidavit that she did a month after Micah passed away, and stated that he had not paid child support. This is supposed to be a man of God and a servant of God, and I'm not sure if he's aware, but a man that does not take care of his family, including his relatives, is worse than an infidel. Worse.
Amen. Amen.
That's pretty bad to be a pastor and be worse than an infidel. Not sure how you could be both, but I don't think for much longer you will.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. You can't attack. Guru had sent me last night, and I've really been on fire since yesterday, since he sent me this video of a Sun article that JP did, and he said he was showing us all mercy. I'm sorry. He was showing us all mercy until the new year, and then God told him to seek justice. Really? Well, who's your God? Satan? Because
I want to know what
tell you
God's
that.
been telling him this, because I can tell you now, his God and our God, two totally different.
Totally
gods,
different.
okay?
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to stop going to the satanic temple.
I agree.
So-
I agree.
Yeah, put down that satanic Bible, JP.
Yeah.
So I just went toe to
newsflash,
toe.
you don't win.
I went into prayer last night and I just said, Lord, Isaiah 54:17, you said, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Amen.
Every tongue that speaks against me will be refuted. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. So I put him into the hands of God last night. Now we'll just let God handle him.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I just has to be that way. Because when I read those complaints, I had to laugh at I literally read the complaints out to God. I said, this is what he said about me, Lord. Is this true or not? Of course, it was all untrue. It's laughable. So I hope this Judge Arrakis, I hope this gets to him. I would not, if you want to, be considered a reputable judge, take anything that this man has filed seriously at all. I would dismiss every one of them. Otherwise, you'll be looked at as the same clown he is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, and it's like, that's what I was telling Miss Steph and everybody on here is like, the biggest reason why I went today was because I wanted to see the interactions between him and Arrakis.
Yeah.
And that pretty much said everything I needed to say. And y'all can take that for what it's will. Obviously I don't want to be, accused of, saying, it's a fixed thing, because we don't know that, right? And I can't, and those are just allegations. And of course I don't want to say that. I've been in front of Arrakis, and I know he's a pit bull. I know he don't tolerate stuff, but and as I was mentioning to everybody, magistrates don't have to be an attorney, and Arrakis is not.
Right. Okay. Well, then I just fed him the law. God's law and the actual law.
Yeah.
So it's totally up to him.
There you go.
This will get back to him. It will. So, and as far as the recordings, and I got to go real quick, but I just want to throw that in. Any recording that John Paul Miller brings into court has to be put into question, because we know that he knows about voice modification. So
Yes.
I don't trust.
Absolutely correct. I don't trust anything, especially if it's not been. And that's the reason why he's like running all this stuff through magistrates, because if you guys actually, if y'all actually combine all your stuff together, it gets kicked up into a higher court, and then from there, it's like all you have to do is just kick it right into federal, like no problem.
Oh, that would be great, because then we can get disclosure, and oh my gosh, would I enjoy
Exactly.
that? Oh, that would be
Exactly.
a party for me. Discovery. Thank you. Yes, Discovery.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
and,
he doesn't
and
want
really, Regina
Discovery.
needs to be in higher courts too. Yeah, nobody likes Discovery, especially if it comes to the truth. For crying out loud. And always remember this too. If you guys ever get like stuck, especially in a civil proceeding, I have learned that if you learn that the person fraudulently, there's it's called Rule 60. Okay, just look it up. It's actually a federal rule, and the state of South Carolina adheres by it too. Just look that up, and honestly, that's a great way to.
I'm not patting myself on the back in any way, but I've been on the stand twice. Both times I frustrated the lawyer.
I can see that, Miss Ann.
They could not. The truth is the truth. If the truth is the truth, it stays the same. And I know the truth. You are not going to sway me. No matter how many times you change that question, it's going to come back the same answer.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck, JP. Anyway,
Yeah,
I love you
good luck to
guys.
you.
And I'm going to go because I got to take care of some things before 2 p.m. But thank you. Thank you for giving us the update, Andy.
No problem. I'll talk to you later, Miss Ann.
Thank
God
you,
bless.
Ann.
All right.
Intelligence is in the house.
I know, right? Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? I've got to jump off here too. This has been. I'm telling you, I'm smiling from ear to ear, so it makes me feel good to know that.
This is a good day. This is a good day because I think, and somebody said it in the comments, this is probably the first time he's been told no.
Yeah, probably. Well, definitely by Arrakis. Yeah.
So, Andy, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is probably more a question for Regina, but I don't know if maybe
Okay.
you would know the answer to this. So, taking into account that each of these cases are going to be treated individually, is there any possibility on Regina's behalf where she would be able to use some of the asinine things he said in some of these hearings against him in other hearings? If that makes sense.
I know that yes, it does. I know that she tried. Okay, she has tried, and then Arrakis like, please stay to this case. Y'all, he was trying to get her removed from representing the woman that he represented this morning, and from all of them. He said all of the cases.
Robbie just posted that John Paul Miller admitted that Bunty is helping him with running
That's
tags.
it. Yes,
Bunty?
that name. Yes. And oh my God, what is it? Steph, try Mark Bunty. I think that's what he said, but don't hold me to that, okay?
As the ex-law enforcement officer?
Christy, is he the attorney, or is he? I think he might be the attorney.
The ex-lawyer. Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Now, Steph, me and you, we're gonna have to talk about that, because there was something that Regina told me that I don't want to put out over here, because we got to look it up first before we verify it. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to say it on your platform and people just run with it,
Right.
But just know, everybody, I've got to look into a couple of things. Yeah, with Bunty.
Okay. That part. A disbarred attorney.
So joyfully pissed. You have confirmed that he is disbarred, correct?
So they're saying in the comments now.
Okay.
that he is
Can we need
a
to confirm
disbarred
that.
attorney in Greenville.
Okay, so Greenville, North Carolina or South Carolina? I think
They
that might
just
be the
said
North
Greenville.
Carolina
I
one.
don't know.
Okay.
Right.
Says Mark Brunty graduated
Christy
from the
says Leslie has a video on him.
University of South Carolina,
Okay.
and this is him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he looks sleazy. They're saying he's been to prison
Okay.
too. And
Oh, just to
Greenville
let
is
y'all
where
know,
the plane
Regina.
was.
Okay. Well, so I want to say yes. But Steph, I'll have to get with you and tell you what Regina said before we go and make that claim.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Joyful Kiss, do you
Wow.
have any more questions for me? I'm so sorry. I'm going to jump off here because y'all, my husband's been sick with the flu and he has tore my kitchen up.
Right quick, everybody, if you can send roses or gifts, love on Andy a little bit for all of her hard work and her note taking. So throw her anything you can. But yes, anybody else got any questions before she goes?
No, I don't have any questions for Andy. There's just a couple of things that I picked up on that I kind of want to put out there. One of those
Sweet.
food for thought kind of things. So
Okay.
the part where JP uses the Pulse nightclub address,
Yes.
there are two possible meanings behind that. Not only
Yes.
the fact that it's a gay bar and he used that for Kyler, but also there is a particular somebody that I'm not going to name, but y'all need to think back because you'll remember who it is, who claimed to have been a first responder when the attack happened at Paul's nightclub in Orlando.
Are they? I wonder.
Okay.
Are they related to each other?
I don't think
Yes,
so. Are they related?
they
For
are
real?
I
related.
wondered
No
that.
They are
way.
related.
I
Yes,
wondered
it's like
that
a chain
too.
of clubs. It's like a chain of
No
clubs.
way. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'll have to look that up. Thank you so much for that. What was the second thing for it so I could jump off? Okay. Sorry.
The second thing was, is it possible him going into court talking about, I was making 100K a month, now I'm making 10K a month, and yet not only is he not paying child support, but he went back to court over and over again with Allie to have child support reduced.
I agree. Yeah. I think there's something.
So,
Well, if I don't know if Regina is still doing Allie's, like if he's still Allie's, if she is still Allie's attorney, because I know she initially did the divorce, but that is something.
right.
If Allie's hearing this, let's just, let's make it very, very loud because, I may mix up words. Everybody does, but I'll tell you the one thing I don't mix up is numbers. Okay. Is numbers.
Right.
My mom's an accountant, Miss Steph's an accountant. That's just something, when you grow up like that, you just you don't mix up numbers.
That's right. Somebody in the comments called it out. That's where we've heard that name before. Mark Brunty.
So it is Mark.
Because somebody said Wendy says he helps prisoners for time in federal prison, according to the website. He's the email that was one of those lawsuits that JP filed.
Yeah.
No, not lawsuits. Not lawsuits. Guru,
that's the one who helped
Guru's
him
in here.
file
What
it.
did we see that on? Not lawsuits. It was, God, what was that? Hold on a minute.
Well, he did spend 5 years in prison, so.
He did,
yeah,
and that Regina said that.
The church, nonprofit church. That's it. It was the church.
The new one?
Oh, really? The new one?
One of the new ones. His name was on
Well,
that.
if he did the new ones, and y'all can, I just need to confirm this, and I try not to do rumor stuff, but is it true, Tina? Because we were talking about Tina last week. Is it true that she was not aware that her name was put on the articles of organization for his new church?
Where did you hear this?
Well, I can't reveal my sources, but I think it was overheard on a live.
I've heard some whispers as well, but I
Okay.
can't find anything that confirms that.
Let me
Steph,
tell you.
let's look.
Let me tell you what I know.
Okay.
The reason I ask where you heard that is because it's kind of confirming what's happening on the back end.
Okay.
Oh, that's just great. I dropped my pen all over my shirt. I've told some people this, but not everybody. It was in my Discord. If you're in
And I'm
there,
sorry for bringing that up.
no,
Sorry,
that's okay. No, that's okay. I did speak with Tina. Tina did email me.
Okay.
She wanted she's sad that she feels people feel a certain way about her, and she's not that person. Yes, Tina Corley. Yes.
Yeah.
And so she kind of she wanted me to let everybody know, if they would just get to know her. And then I said, can you tell me why this new church was formed and why you stepped down? She said that she couldn't because she has an attorney and that she is not getting, and I quote, involved in his mess, unquote. And so I invited her and her attorney on the show. She said, not right now. We're trying to, we
Right.
can't really say anything because some things are going on. So I feel like I'm not going to interact with her anymore. The invitation's open. She
Right.
reached out to me first, and I responded, well, would you like to address this on the show? She said, no, not right now. But I'm feeling, this is my personal opinion, that there's some kind of turmoil or something has happened in that relationship
I
because
agree
now
with
she
you.
has an attorney.
I totally agree with you. And here's the thing too, y'all, just let's pray for this woman, okay? Because like she told Steph, people don't know her, we don't know anything about her apart from, what Robbie Harvey has said, and obviously what's been out there in the public, and who she quote unquote has been associated with. Look, look, I'm in marketing and stuff like that. Do you know I've associated myself with people who aren't the finest people in society when it comes to business, but we have a duty of ethics. Does that make sense? Like, we have an obligation, to do the right thing. Now, as ethically as I can sit there and look at you go, I'm not going to retain you as a client because of A, B, C, and D. And, I have done that. But, we all take on stuff, and we all surround ourselves around people that, at the time, depending on her path or what she was wanting to do, she is a lot in the political arena. And let's just face it, everybody knows you have to have a different skin, especially if you're one of the few good ones. So let's pray with that. But it makes me understand now, because if it is true, okay, Steph, the address that's associated that they had put on, because she's registered as a registered agent. The address, I pulled up the records for that address that they put on it, and it's two totally different people. And as far as I know, Miss Tina has never been married. Now, I could be wrong, but I get the impression she's not been married, or she's been married. She's never, like me, never taken her married name.
Right. Well, I just want to put it out there that she was very firm on the fact that she stepped down and she has nothing to do with Forge Church at this time.
Good. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to jump down. Great to see everybody. Thank you, Steph. And if y'all have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you, Mandy.
All right. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, my goodness. What a day, everybody. It's been this crazy day, but in a sense, we are relieved that he's finally being told no and that somebody's standing up to him. Kudos to Regina, and kudos to the person who retained Regina. That's very, very awesome. Before we go, I wanted to show you guys a few things. Hold on a minute. Give me just a minute, because I wasn't prepared. Oh, man. Add. Oh, wait. Okay. So, I had gotten some new stuff in the mail, and I wanted to show you before we go a few of the shadows that I got in the mail. This is the same brand of Adriana. I think that's how you say it, Adriana. And I wanted to show you this one because this one I haven't even opened yet, but it comes like this. and it's the glitter eyeshadows that we've been using.
That blue is
So,
amazing.
so since it's amazing, I wanted to see what this blue one looked like. Holy cow. I had gotten the other colors too. What color do I have on my eyes? I think I left it up there, but it's an orange color, and then I have like a golden chrome color that's really pretty that I got. So this is what it looks like. I have it pinned. Adriana Nicole Cosmetics, and it comes like that right there.
Oof.
What I love this color.
And I'm not much for shadow, but that pops.
That's so pretty. So this, what I love about these are this looks like glitter to chrome to, so when you
Right.
put it on here, it looks blue, but when you put it on, it's what it turns into.
Ooh, that's a nice shimmery color.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh, beautiful.
That's nice.
Iridescent.
You
iridescent.
gonna wear
That's the
that
word I was
tomorrow,
looking
Steph?
for. Yeah, iridescent. So
You gotta
that's
wear
the
it
blue.
tomorrow. Make your eyes pop tomorrow.
Oh, it's blue, but it's called heavenly. This color right here is called heavenly.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one is celestial. And this is what it looks like.
Oh, nice.
It's so crazy how they do that. It's like, and then when you put it on, it looks very chromy.
Yeah. That's a nice fire tone.
And there's no effort. You can see how it goes to green to yellow to red or maroon. There's no effort with her eyeshadows, and that's what I love about it because I'm not good at shadowing and blending and all of this stuff. So if you want to grab the other colors, that's part of it. The other colors that are in my TikTok shop that you'll be able to find are the ones called ethereal. Oh, my bad. Ethereal. And there's a brown. But the other thing that I got is this from Adriana is the primer to prime your eyes before you put the chrome on. And this is what it looks like. It's absolutely gorgeous. Do I have the primer in my shop? Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can go find it. I probably didn't add the primer. Wait a minute. Because I just love the presentation. I love pretty containers and different things like that. So anytime I get anything with that, yes, I'm going to go look at the primer. I'm going to go add it. Give me just a second. I totally forgot about it. Where is the primer? I hope I can add it. Some products they don't let you add, or you can't reset, or you can't put up in it. So okay. Now, oh, it does let me add it. Okay, now let me go over here and pin it. Okay, it should be pinned. It should be pinned. But it is the Adriana Nicole Cosmetics Dual Chrome Glitter Primer. So if you do the chromes, this is a good thing to have. It'll make it stay. It won't fade out. It's a good primer, really, really good primer. I love the presentation, and I love it's just very, very pretty and very, very elegant. So grab the primer, and here's these up close. I mean, it's just crazy. That was one swipe across my eyebrow. Not my my eyebrow. I mean, my eyelid. You can wear it on your eyebrows, I guess, but I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, this final thing I have to show you is a nostalgic product. It's my most favorite thing that I have received. This is strawberry shortcake. Remember her? Perfume. Strawberry shortcake. Remember the strawberry shortcake dolls? If you remember having the dolls, let me know. Let me see you in the comments. I will. I will wear the green. This is it. This is it. Perfume. When you spray it on, I am not kidding you, it smells like the strawberry shortcake doll. So if you want to be nostalgic and go back in time to strawberry shortcake, you have got to get this. Oh my gosh. And it's not overpowering, like you're not going to walk around and be like, you know, like you're the doll. But it is so it brings me back. That's what it is. Oh my gosh. No, it's the best. You have to. It's so nostalgic. Oh, and then you just smell so lovely. And it's not overpowering at all. I'm in love. So if you want to get the strawberry shortcake experience, you'll be smelling of yourself all day. Oh, I thought I had it pinned. Maybe I didn't. No, yeah, it's pinned. Just click the product pin in my shop button. Click the shop bag there, and then you can find it and then add it to your cart. Click on the shopping cart. Yes, bottom left-hand corner. You guys. Wait, I got to put some more on my neck. Oh. I feel like a big strawberry shortcake doll. There are just moments and smells that take you back to the good part of your childhood, because we may have had chaotic childhoods. But this is the bomb. So if you want to be taken back, please grab this. This was my nostalgic one. This is the one that I said, oh my gosh, that's so nostalgic. All right, everybody, it's time for me to go for the day. Wow, it's been a crazy day. You guys know I'll be around all day long. I consider this a victory in the case for justice for Micah. Thank you guys for joining me today. You know you're making my dreams come true right before my eyes. By the way, this one is the one that I have. No, this is not the one. I left the other one on. But I do have it on. The celestial, yeah, I have this one on. This is the one I have on. So that's what it looks like, in case you're wondering. All right. Make sure you follow me on every social media platform. You can find me on every one of them. All you have to do is look for the same username and logo. Find me especially on YouTube. This entire video will be on the YouTube later in its entirety. Michelle, to join the Discord while I'm live right now, the easiest way is to click the subscriber button, and then there should be a list of customized perks. But if you do it outside of the live, all you do is go to my profile page. I'm not profile. Erase that. Go to your profile page and go to the people that you subscribe to, and then click on my name, and then click on customized perks, and then you'll see the Discord and the Discord link. Thank you guys. Please be blessed, be kind to one another, and have a good day. I love you.